Grumpy Old Men is an old movie about two old guys who once were best friends but had a falling out that made them bitter enemies. It was a comedy that in many ways was not funny because they were mean and nasty to one another. Between their looks, craggy and wrinkled, and their attitude, defiant and hateful, they're how I visualize Korah, Dathan, and Abiram in Numbers chapter 16. Those guys were grumpy old men stripped of any semblance of humor. Of course, I have no idea what they looked like or how old they were, but they were marked by a defiantly hateful attitude. We're introduced to them right after God reminded the people to not follow after their own heart, but to obey Him and be holy because He is Lord. Numbers chapter 15, verses 39 through 41. That's when they called a convention of leaders to challenge the authority of Moses and Aaron, and by extension, God. The account is sparse, so we don't know fully how it unfolded, but when they got to the point, it was to accuse Moses and Aaron of assuming too much authority. Just like Aaron and Miriam had done earlier, the three grumpsters complained that God was with them too. Numbers 16, verses 1 through 3. It was irrational and puzzling. Why would they continue to defy God? Man's constant defiance of God's direct commandments is puzzling. It's dumbfounding to read about men who had seen God's power up close and personal, yet defiantly ignore that to challenge God's chosen leaders. Sadly, there are always folk like that. After Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, the Jewish leaders began that very day to plot his death. John 11, verse 53. But don't think for a moment that people don't do the same today. Jesus calls us to obey His will. If we love Him, we will obey Him. John 14, verse 15. Yet, when anyone repeats that call, there is a counter call by some to follow Jesus by faith while rejecting God's will and refusing to obey Him. And quite a few get downright nasty when challenged, like modern day grumpy old men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, it isn't faith if we refuse to obey Him. Well, we will have more to say about Korah, Dathan, and Abiram in tomorrow's Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until then, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.